I think some people are just born with a need to explore. I know that's true for me. I think it runs in my family. There's this itch in the back of my mind that I start to feel when I sit still for too long. It starts with a look out the window, squinting at details on the horizon. And I wonder, what's on top of that hill? And where's that old dirt road go? How deep is that canyon? I have this insatiable curiosity about the wrinkles and the corrugations of the landscape. What secrets do they hide? I used to do a lot of backpacking and hiking, but the further I went, the more curious I got, and the farther I wanted to go. And then I discovered traveling by motorcycle. Motorcycles allowed me to be nimble, self-sufficient, and to go virtually anywhere, farther and faster. And they kept me immersed in the landscape, rather than shielded from it behind steel and glass. First, I explored the deserts, the forest roads, and single-track trails across the western U.S. Then I started to take international trips. My writing partners on these trips were usually Dan Gallagher and Kevin Blathing. Together, we'd traveled thousands of miles through some of the most remote and interesting places in the world. Dan and I rode more than 6,000 miles from Seattle to the Canadian Arctic Circle and back. Then Kevin and I circumnavigated Iceland and explored the rugged highlands of the interior of the island. After that, all three of us were off to India to ride north from New Delhi, over the Himalayas, and the highest motorable mountain passes in the world. These trips were about riding motorcycles, of course. We love riding motorcycles, but they were also about experiencing these places, the people, their culture, and their stories. And when we weren't riding, we met with them, we heard their stories, we stayed in their homes, we ate their food, and we did our best to learn something about how they see the world. Just as the dust was settling after our trip through India, I heard from Kevin again. It didn't seem reasonable. It didn't sound plausible. But there it was again, that itch in the back of my mind. And as soon as he'd asked me, I knew I was going to Vietnam. What do I actually know about Vietnam? Well, thanks to Ken Burns, I know a fair bit about the Vietnam War. But if I'm honest, I know almost nothing about the country, its history, its culture, or its people. And I think that's probably true for most Americans. Strangely, although I've never been there, and I know almost nothing about it, I do have a connection to Vietnam. And in some ways, I feel like Vietnam has played a defining role in my life. You see, my father is a veteran of the Vietnam War. He's never said much to me about his time there, nor shared his thoughts about the country, but I know that his experience in Vietnam was defining. His time there shaped and transformed him in ways that, inevitably, had a significant impact on me. The Vietnam War extracted a cruel price from America. 58,222 American soldiers were killed and 304,000 were wounded. Harder to quantify, but equally cruel, is the price that the surviving veterans and their families paid over decades following the war, as they struggled with the traumatic memories and psychological wounds of combat. So I was curious about Vietnam, this place that shaped my father and, through him, had shaped me. But I also wanted to look past the war and to understand the people and their culture. But before I could do that, I had to learn a little bit more about this war and why we fought it.
I think the Vietnamese people and ourselves agree. We want the communists to be contained and the Americans to go home. But we are not there to see a war lost.
I do not find it easy to send the flower of our youth, our finest young men, into battle. But we insist, and we will always insist, that the people of South Vietnam shall have the right to shape their own destiny. But we will not surrender, and we will not retreat. We have learned at a terrible and a brutal cost that retreat does not bring safety.
The key to the situation remains the cessation of infiltration from the north into the south.
The problems of Vietnam are quite complex. They are a mixture of political turmoil, of poverty, of religious and factional strife, and modern longing for freedom. Vietnam is all of these things. Why? Why should three presidents and the elected representatives of our people have chosen to defend this Asian nation more than 10,000 miles from American shores? We cherish freedom, yes. We cherish self-determination for all people, yes. We have sought to strengthen free people against domination by aggressive foreign powers. But the key to all that we have done is really our own security.
It was time for me to sit down and talk with someone who was actually there and fought in this war. My father.
When I think back now about why we were in Vietnam, I was under the impression, and I actually thought it was for our freedom, for America's freedom. And that's why we were in Vietnam, because America was threatened. The belief that America was threatened is not true. I'm Richard Edmondson, a Vietnam combat veteran. I was airborne, I was a Ranger, and I served with the Special Forces, and also served with the 173rd Airborne Brigade. Both units were combat units, and so I got my combat infantryman's badge. my Bronze Star, and the other accolades that go along with being a combat vet. I was in Vietnam from 1968 till 1969. I spent 2 tours in Vietnam. When you look back now and read about McNamara and Johnson and Ho Chi Minh and all those people, you realize it was just a geopolitical mess. So I heard about Vietnam actually in high school, and then it was always on the news.
Rocket attacks on Da Nang, 25 miles southwest of Saigon, and on.
But it was always the war part that was in the news, you know, it's never about the country. I didn't think of it as a career, it was just an opportunity to go somewhere and do something different. I went into Special Forces, became an Army Ranger, became a paratrooper, airborne, became a jump master, because it was all the adventure, all the search for something different out there. But when you flew in, nice tropical palm trees and whatnot, ocean washing up against sand, beaches, you know, and there were people on the beach. As you're flying in, you think, it's kind of pretty. And so parts of it were like, wow, I'm cool. And I'm in Vietnam, you know. But we climbed out of the airplane and it was hot. You could feel the weight of the noise and the humidity and the activity. And it was like, geez, there's a lot going on. Holy shit, I'm in Vietnam. Oh, the difference between a village and a city are night and day. The roads were narrow. There were a lot of shops, lots of people going every which way, a lot of motorcycles. There were a lot of, I think they call them tuk-tuks, little 3-wheel, had a bench seat in the back, and the driver sat up front, and there's taxis. Lots of smells. Smell of debris burning, garbage. The streets were relatively clean because they were quite tidy people. It seemed like they wanted to keep everything neat. The villages are entirely different, and I'm not sure this is the correct pronunciation, but it was Bong Song. The reason I remember that so well is it was in part of the area with the 173rd that was a search and destroy, where the company I was with would walk through the jungle searching out the enemy to destroy them. And it also meant you destroyed basically anything that moved. Water buffalo, monkey, people, villages, whatever. You find their little baskets of catfish that they were catching. You tear up all that stuff because that was food for the Viet Cong in our minds. Actually, it was food for the poor people in those villages. But again, we didn't know that. And we could only assume at that point, because they had been told to get out of that area, that they were there to support the Viet Cong. Straw huts, lots of big wooden bowls, big wooden casks that keep their rice, lots of pounding sticks, lots of wood burning for cooking. The roofs were all thatch, and we would burn those villages. And the people that were sad, we just burned them out. I mean, that was our mission, to search and destroy. And they were told to get out, but they didn't. But they were like, that was their home. And We destroyed it. The truth be told, it fucked me up. But I don't want to admit I have PTSD. I take medicine for it. But I've got PTSD. And I was a Vietnam vet, but no one seemed to give a shit. It was just like nothing, it was like nothing. It was just like, it didn't matter. But we didn't come back from Vietnam as heroes. We came back as killers, as pieces of trash to be just swept aside, forgotten. If I had the opportunity, I would love to go back. But I would love to go back to some of the places that I was a point man that I walked through. Because parts of it were just phenomenal. Just beautiful. There was this I remember this big valley we were in. But it was such a beautiful valley. It had huge stones in it, stones size of houses that were just stacked like marbles on top of each other. And in all those stacks, there were these little caves, and there was a nice little creek. I would love to go back there. I have no clue where it was, but it was just a beautiful spot. So I would love to go back and see the countryside.
Finally ready for our trip to begin, Kevin, Dan, and I boarded a flight for the long trip to Vietnam. With a population of nearly 95 million people, Vietnam is bordered by China to the north, Laos to the northwest, and Cambodia to the southwest. From north to south, the country is roughly the length of California. Hanoi has been the capital of Vietnam since the reunification of the North and South in 1976, and it marks the starting point for our travels. Next to Ho Chi Minh City, Hanoi is the country's second largest, with 7.5 million residents. Its bustling streets are packed tightly against the Red River. In fact, the name Hanoi actually means inside the river. Vietnam is a unitary, Marxist-Leninist, one-party socialist republic. Although it's officially committed to socialism, its economic policies have grown increasingly capitalist, and that's obvious on the streets of Hanoi. The streets are absolutely packed with a wild assortment of activity. Everywhere you look, there is a jarring contrast between old and new, Western and Eastern, traditional and modern. The city is buzzing with capitalism. Every side street nook is crammed with goods being manufactured or refurbished. Merchandise is spilling out into the street, and everyone's trying to sell you something. We were surprised at just how friendly everyone was. People approached us eager to engage in a conversation to practice their English with an American. Hanoi was fascinating, but we'd had enough walking. We're here to ride motorcycles. And that means a visit to Ticket Motorbikes.
So I'm John, and I run Ticket Motorbikes. We started about 4 years ago, and we're now up to 350 bikes and a couple of offices going across Vietnam, with the idea that you can start in one city and drop in another city. After doing the motorbike journey from Ho Chi Minh to Hanoi, obviously I loved it, and then I started buying and selling bikes for fun. And then one bike led into the many bikes that we have today. Traveling Vietnam by motorbike is very accessible and easy. Every tourist destination is within 1 day's drive of each other. So you can start in a tourist area, drive through remote countryside, where you see the real Vietnam, which is actually much poorer than people realize. And then you end up at the end of the day in another tourist destination. If you're driving Ho Chi Minh to Hanoi, most backpackers will take 20 to 25 days. But if you drive all day, every day, it takes around 10 days. But basically in the south you can do mountain roads and the coastal roads, and then as you go north it becomes more mountainous.
Holy fuck!
It looks crazy, chaotic, and maybe suicidal. But once you get out there you realise just how slowly the locals are driving. Road speeds rarely exceed 60 kilometers an hour. So it looks crazy, but it's very slow out there. Well, Vietnam is a very safe country. The locals are helpful, friendly, outgoing. So if you ever get in trouble, the locals will bail you out. They really like the Western culture, especially these days with Facebook and American movies. It's all here, so they see it and they understand it. That's within the big cities, and the young generation are very Westernized. But on the other hand, the families out in the countryside are still very traditional. Most parents of the young generation will still believe in things like fortune tellers, which makes for a real interesting culture diversity. So where you stay depends on your budget and the kind of traveller you are. Vietnam has options for everyone, from 5-star hotels right down to homestays, which have become very popular. Also Airbnb is booming here now. So really it depends on your budget. You can go right down to a $4 dorm room, right up to a $250 hotel. The choice is yours, and they're throughout the country. So beef noodles is what Vietnam is famous for, phở bò. And that is absolutely everywhere here. Wherever you go, there will be a beef noodle shop within 5 minutes of you. That makes traveling really easy. If you are not an adventurous eater, there's a phở bò shop somewhere nearby. But also, there's a lot of crazy outgoing food, you know, from pig's intestines, pig hearts, snake hearts. There's a lot of out there food if that's your kind of thing. So when you go to a place, it can be completely way out there in the middle of nowhere. You'll find a restaurant that's full of Vietnamese having a party. You just go in there, order whatever they're ordering, and you see what happens. Well, the rice wine is for the older generation, and most Vietnamese sort of countryside households will know how to make it.
It's good.
It tends to be very strong, and when you find yourself out in the countryside in a Vietnamese house, you will be given it, and you have to drink it. You don't have a choice.
Cheers.
Which makes for a party. If you're in the countryside, especially on a bike like the Honda XR, you're going to be standing out. Partly because you're white and partly because of the motorbike. Off-road, or in the XR's case, a dual sport, those bikes don't exist here. So they would have never seen a bike like that before. So the XR 150 is it's based off the CRF 250, the Honda CRF 250, which is basically a farm vehicle used around the world as basically one of the most reliable motorbikes there is. And it has a nice wide seat, soft bouncy dual sport suspension, and it's just a comfortable ride for a long journey. 150 is the correct size for Vietnam. You don't need to get anything bigger. As soon as you go bigger, then it gets dangerous. There are military zones that foreigners are not allowed to go to. Some of them people know about, some of them we don't. But especially along the Lao border, there's still areas where there's a lot of bombs and old war things going on. You're likely to run into people who don't want you to be in that area. And if you actually zoom in on Google Maps to Vietnam, you realize just how few roads there are here. There's a lot going on where there's no connection to roads. And if you go over to Laos, the Laos side of the border, there's even less going on. But that makes it interesting for traveling here, because you can go way off the beaten track to places where no one else has been before.
So where are we going exactly? Our goal was to reach Ho Chi Minh City, more than 1,500 kilometers to the south, in about 12 days, so that we could catch return flights to the US. And yeah, that was literally the extent of our plan. Given the variable traffic, road conditions, and geography, it was hard to estimate how far we could travel in a given day. We also didn't know how easy or difficult it would be to find food, water, and lodging once we left the city. And we had no reservations. So we just decided to pick a town on the map, somewhere south of where we were, and then hope for the best. But first, we had to get out of Hanoi.
Ready? Ready? Good luck, man.
Shit, you see that guy about run me off? Did you see that?
I did.
Shit, that's one of those times when you've got the urge to hit the brakes, but you ride through it. It's just crazy.
We had escaped the clutches of Hanoi, and were now entering the countryside and more rural areas to the southwest of the city. We stopped to eat and catch our breath. Just as John had promised, there were roadside pho shops every 5 minutes. As we ate our beef noodles, we reflected on our first impressions of Vietnamese traffic. Obviously, it was insane. Most of the vehicles on the road were mopeds. These little bikes are cheap, light, and efficient, but they're clearly not designed for carrying loads. This fact does not stop the Vietnamese, who will carry almost anything on their mopeds. And then we met this guy, who wins for most innovative and dangerous moped modification. I noticed there was both steam and smoke pouring from the back of his bike. On the back, he had a large pot filled with buns, which were steamed by the boiling water below. And how did he heat this boiling water, you ask? Well, from the wood fire burning underneath, of course. This is a classic example of the kind of clever improvisation that you see throughout Vietnam. They are masters at creative solutions that will probably kill or maim you. If you wrecked on this bike, I'm not sure what would kill you first. The crash, the boiling water, or the fire. Regardless, the buns were delicious. After a night in a cheap roadside motel, we began to work our way south and then west. As we headed west, the traffic thinned out, and we began to enter the mountainous area near the Laos border. As we rode further into the mountains, villages became smaller, there were fewer people, and there were more animals and livestock in the roads.
Look at some water. There's a store right there. Hello. Hi.
Our lack of Vietnamese meant that we had to be pretty good at pantomiming.
Oh, look at those. Yeah.
We started to worry that we would get stuck out on the road between villages after nightfall. These roads were challenging to ride in the daytime. Riding them at night just seemed foolish. Eventually, our maps and GPS failed us, and we became lost. Because we were unable to communicate, asking for directions was also not useful. The people here didn't seem familiar with maps, and we had a hard time even establishing our location. All we could do was press on, hoping we'd find some place to stay before dark. We noticed that the people here in the mountain jungle looked and dressed differently than the people we had met thus far. These were the ethnic minorities, referred to by the Vietnamese as the Highlanders. We were now hopelessly lost, and we asked for directions to a town on the map that seemed large enough to have food and lodging.
Ban Chang? That's up there. Where is this? Where are we? Oh, Ban Chang's that way.
Oh, no.
Okay, Ban Chang's that way. Yeah, not that way. That way. Okay.
We were riding the highlands of Vietnam. We decided that we wanted to get off the beaten path, so we found a small border town called Ban Chang that was right next to the border of Laos.
I don't know if we'll make this loop. If this is a yellow road and these other roads are barely inexistent.
After we checked into a hotel, we walked down to the local farmer's market to see what was going on and maybe to get a meal.
United States, USA. Yeah. We're going to be here for 2 weeks.
And as we were there interacting with all the people that live here, 2 Army officers came up and detained us. They wanted our passports,
which were, of course, at the hotel because all the hotels over here keep your passports. And so we were escorted back to the hotel.
So they walked us back to the hotel. And
yeah, I just thought they'd look at our passports and we'd be good to go because we have our visas, we have everything we're supposed to have.
gave us a light interrogation and had the local police set in on it. And it was pretty stressful. We had to communicate with Google Translate on a computer.
Anh đã vi phạm luật Việt Nam. Anh đã đi vào khu vực cấm. Anh không được phép đi vào khu vực này. Anh đừng quá lo lắng. Anh ở đây sẽ rất nguy hiểm. Anh đã đi cách biên giới Lào 1 km. Chúng tôi sẽ giữ hộ chiếu và visa của anh. Anh hãy ở khách sạn này và đừng đi đâu cả. Chúng tôi có một số câu hỏi cần anh trả lời. Trông anh có vẻ lo lắng. Anh đừng quá lo lắng. Anh biết đến Việt Nam như thế nào? Vì sao anh đến Việt Nam? Bây giờ anh phải đi với chúng tôi. Vui lòng cho tôi xem hộ chiếu của anh.
About 30 minutes of questioning, which was fairly lighthearted, though stressful.
We were told that we were under basically house arrest.
And told that we were not to leave the hotel until tomorrow morning when they come back and give us our passports back.
Bring them back and send us back out the way we came. We were told that we had entered a restricted area that was not marked on the map in any way.
Apparently, though I've been searching online since the Army left and can't find anything that says that it's restricted, so maybe we're gonna get shaken down, who knows.
But we think everything will be fine and we'll be able to leave in the morning.
Worst case, we pay him some money, I think. I mean, I guess there's a worse case than that, right? But I can't imagine that we'll end up in Vietnamese prison over this.
I don't know. I think that's going to be real interesting. My gut tells me no.
And now we got the adventure we came for, I suppose you would say.
Whatever they do, I'm sure that we'll have to meet their demands one way or another, so that's all I got to say about that.
Well, sitting there, we had a 7 o'clock appointment with Destiny. They were supposed to bring our passports back to us and set us loose, and they didn't show up, and they didn't show up. And I was kind of nervous that they were going to string it out all day, but finally about an hour later they did, and they came in and set us down and talked to us actually pretty nice. Used the computer to converse back and forth, and they put up there on the screen in big letters, "You did break Vietnamese law." When that happened, I thought, uh-oh, here it comes. Finally, they told us they were going to let us go, and they gave us our passports and showed us the way out. Explained how to get out of where we were. And then when we got done, they all wanted to take their pictures with us, which was pretty interesting in itself. But no, they let us go. It was a pretty good day.
Freedom is not to be taken for granted.
We continued south through the mountains, running parallel to the border with Laos. Our plan was to ride through the Phong Nha National Park on our way to Khe Sanh. As we entered the park, we left civilization behind. We were now deep into the jungle. There would be no towns, gas, or stores until we made our way through the mountains to Khe Sanh. While in the jungle, we noticed that if we stopped, even briefly, tiny leeches fell onto us from the canopy above and slowly worked their way through our gear towards our skin. Leeches. They're everywhere. Yeah, I had one crawling across my visor. I'm sure we've got leeches on us.
I had one on my backpack.
Oh well, they're good for your health, right?
Sure.
You don't let them stay too long.
Oh, check out this village down here.
I got service again. We must be getting close to something.
That's a good sign. Can you see a village? Not very encouraging.
How far? How many miles was it to
53K.
So we're not to those yet.
So how far do you think it is to Khe Sanh, Dan?
I have no idea.
But we've got to make it there before dark.
We've been riding an hour and a half, and we've made it 40K. And we got to get there before dark. There's nowhere to stay between here and there. I mean, I guess we can ride in the dark. We got lights, but they warn you not to. So.
Well, I think this road is going to be a little tense in the dark.
Yeah. I would say you're correct.
How are you?
Just as the sun began to set, the rain stopped and we emerged from the jungle and began to enter the outskirts of Khe Sanh. We found a cheap hotel, stripped off our wet gear, and inspected ourselves for more leeches.
What you got there? A leech. Goddamn jungle, man.
It's a jungle out there. Where else you got them?
I don't know.
Not really. The following morning, we rode to the site of the Battle of Khe Sanh.
Many times I'm asked what part I think Khe Sanh will play in the history of our country. And perhaps the place we should start is with an orientation of its location and some of the features around it. Khe Sanh, as you know, is located 8 to 10 miles from the Sapone River, which is the boundary between Laos and South Vietnam. It's south of the demilitarized zone and has around it certain hill masses which control some of the infiltration routes coming down in this general area. And of course, Route 9, basically the only road in this area, runs from the Laotian border, continues on through and goes almost to the coast of Vietnam.
We wandered around the battle site in the early morning mist. An enthusiastic man greeted us and agreed to tell us more about Khe Sanh.
Okay, my name is Min, MIN8. I'm a local resident here, and today I work as the director in charge of the Khe Sanh Museum. We are right now here in a former American Marine combat base. It's so-called the Khe Sanh Combat Base. The Battle of Khe Sanh has happened half a century ago, 1968. The Battle of Khe Sanh has become the decisive battle, and it changed the American policy on Vietnam after. So the effects of this battle on the history is very strong, and it changed the idea of many people all over the world. it made the worldwide understand about the war in Vietnam. The Khe Sanh located is so important position for the south of Vietnam. Khe Sanh is not so far from Laos border, and it's not so far from the south of the border with North, the 17 parallels and the DMZ area. Especially Khe Sanh located on route number 9, and you know how important of route 9. It runs parallel with the border with North, so of course it could be the very, very important military defense line. Khe Sanh, where the Ho Chi Minh Trail passed by. Ho Chi Minh Trail is a start from deep north of Vietnam and down south, and it's like the blood system in our body. It's very, very important. That's the way to transport weapon and army men and everything from the north to have the south. And we cannot value how important the Ho Chi Minh Trail with the battle in the south, because it's so important, so important. So with the Marine, they believe that they should come here, and there should be a very large combat base here to stop the infiltration of North down south. Westmoreland, American commander at that time, General Westmoreland, he said that if Marine didn't come to Khe Sanh, it means that they opened the way for Viet Cong down south. Khe Sanh is like a bottleneck, the reason why the Khe Sanh is important. During the battles, both sides suffer heavy casualty. And during the 2.5 battle of Khe Sanh, this battle became the decisive boxing place. My parents also involved in the war, even though they didn't join. And I think that mostly of the Vietnamese people, they didn't join the war. They want the peace. But very sorry, the war happened in Vietnam, and they have to fight for freedom and fight for living. Before the war, they just a farmer, a young farmer. When they married, they hopefully to make a happy family with the rifle, with the buffalo, with the chicken and many kids, with a small house and everything inside the village with the neighboring. But when the war happened, they were involved and they have to fight for the country, fight to protect the weaker people. They belong to the transportation battalion, and they work on Ho Chi Minh Trail. Myself, I believe that nobody wants the war. They're thinking of the war is the terrible thing the people make it. So, I think the Vietnam War, it should be avoided, but very sorry it happens. And they think about the war with the destruction, with the missing, with the loss, with the horrible thing. And like today, they think, luckily everything is over, and we should leave everything behind for the future. But the lesson of war, it should be learned by the people. Just learn it to do not repeat it, and learn it to make it wiser, and learn it to know how to live together. We learn it to know how to forgive. That's important. My parents always told me that I give you the body, but the heaven gives you ability to live. That's the ability how to give, and ability how to forgive. This is so important with the people. I think so. The war is over. I think Americans know about the Vietnam by the war first, but the war is now over. The relation between Vietnam and America now getting better than ever. And Vietnam, my country, would like to be friends over the war. We would like to leave everything behind for the future. So I would like to say that I would like to invite you come to my country to see my country, especially with the veteran. I would like them to come back to Vietnam, to see a new Vietnam, to see the Vietnam today, to remember the fallen brother, and to find a way for enlightenment, to find a way for left everything behind. I think so, because when we are young, we think for happy, we think for future. When we are old enough, when we are retired, when the age close to heaven, we're thinking about the past. And with the people, all the way they regret for the past. So why not come to Vietnam to make something for Vietnam, to make everything is better, and to connect the relation. Let's come to Vietnam, and you will see, you will say, okay, it's a fantastic Vietnam. Okay, so when you're back home, I would like to say my hello to your parent, to your father, and just invite him to see the Vietnam. I think it's a very special back to Vietnam, special trip. I think so. And oh, that's so odd. And when I met him, I will have a talk with him.
Thanks again so much. Really appreciate it. It's good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
We left Khe Sanh and headed south, making our way towards the coast of the South China Sea. When we stopped to rest and eat, the people in the villages were always very curious and friendly, especially the kids.
Sean. Yeah. What's your name? Veit. Veit. It's nice to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you too.
Very good English.
The adults were also curious about our cameras, motorcycles, sunglasses, and other gear.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you? Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Nó còn đang khoe đây này. Khoe đây này, đấy đâu. À, thôi đi nhé.
It's a good look for you.
Kính nó đeo là hầu như là như mắt thật mình luôn đấy.
Hi, nice to meet you.
And they weren't shy about getting to know us.
Yeah. Chấp để rồi nhỉ. Don't touch the Buddha. Don't touch the Buddha. Chấp để rồi.
That's hilarious. Bye-bye now.
And like John from Ticket had mentioned, they often had homemade booze and they always wanted to share. Saying no was not an option. So we did some shots. Okay, we did a lot of shots.
All right, one.
Cheers.
Bye-bye, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, bye-bye. Oh, okay. Thank you for the drink, I appreciate it, yeah.
We kept moving south, riding from 8 to 12 hours a day. We had a lot of distance to cover and not a lot of time. Food was somewhat of a struggle. We mostly ate at small restaurants, open to the street and run by families as an extension of their home.
Cheers.
We were bored with beef noodles, so we started eating whatever the restaurant owner recommended.
How is it?
Yeah.
Usually the results were fantastic, although we weren't always sure what we were eating. Sometimes the food options were just troubling. In this small village, we walked across the street to check out what we thought was a freshly roasted pig.
Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. Oh.
Hello.
That's not a pig. Yeah. That is a dog. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a dog, right? Yeah, I see. It looks delicious. You see his feet? The reason it didn't look like he had hooves is because his feet were chopped off. That's a pig.
And this nice lady served us mugs of something.
What is that for me?
Give that a good stir.
Alright, how much?
Con 2 ly nha. Con 2 ly hả? Cái không phải cái đó làm sao mà nó lấy tiền đây. Không, cái người con lấy cho con bán ở đây mà.
I don't know.
Không sai ra là không.
Oh my god.
We didn't always like what we ate, but we always enjoyed the experience. Beaten up by long days on the road, we decided to head down the coast towards Tua Hui for a little relaxation on the beach. But first, we had to climb Hai Van Pass. Hai Van means ocean cloud and refers to the mists that often rise from the sea, making driving the pass very dangerous. But it was clear perfection the day we rode over, offering us amazing views of the Da Nang Bay and the skyline of the city. Jeremy Clarkson from the British TV show Top Gear called this road a deserted ribbon of perfection, one of the best coast roads in the world, and I couldn't agree more. We cruised down the coast into the beach town of Tua Hui. We needed a rest, so we splurged for a beachfront hotel with a pool and spent the following morning sleeping in and relaxing. By the way, splurging meant spending only $35 per room. Feeling rested, we moved south and west towards the city of Dalat. Much has been said about the Hai Van Pass. However, the pass over the mountains to Dalat might be even more spectacular. Sunny ocean views were replaced with waterfalls wrapped in mist. We were now within a day's ride of our final destination, Ho Chi Minh City. But first, we wanted to explore the Củ Chi tunnels on the outskirts of the city. The Củ Chi tunnels are a multi-level underground complex of narrow passages and rooms covering 121 kilometers. They're part of a much larger network of tunnels that underlie much of Vietnam. They were dug by hand and used by the Viet Cong soldiers to hide and avoid U.S. bombers, as well as serving as communication and supply routes, hospitals, food and weapon caches, and living quarters for many North Vietnamese fighters. Life for the Viet Cong in these tunnels was difficult. Air, food, and water were scarce, and the tunnels were infested with ants, venomous centipedes, scorpions, spiders, and vermin. American soldiers that specialized in clearing the enemy out were called tunnel rats. They used the term black echo to describe the sensory deprivation and terror within. Combat here was hand-to-hand and brutal. This is a picture of my father, who had a short stint as a tunnel rat. We entered the tunnels to get a sense of what black echo is really like. The tunnels were incredibly hot, humid, and just terrifying. And that's without someone trying to kill you. We were very glad to make it back to the surface and to get back on our bikes. After 12 days of riding, we were ready for the final push into Ho Chi Minh City, formerly known as Saigon. With more than 13 million residents, Ho Chi Minh City is the most populated city in Vietnam, so we expected the traffic to be intense. And it did not disappoint. After covering so many kilometers without an incident, our goal now was just to finish safely. It took us nearly 2 hours to make our way to the middle of the city and to our hotel. We were glad to finally park our bikes for one last time, raise a pint, and reflect on a successful journey. We had traveled more than 2,500 kilometers in less than 12 days. We had fought through chaotic city traffic. We'd sampled Vietnam's delicious and interesting food. And we also made a few new friends. We traveled twisty roads through surreal mountain landscapes. We rode through dense jungles in a downpour. We explored remote farming villages and huge cities. And we followed miles of beautiful coastline and beaches. America was in a brutal war in Vietnam 50 years ago. But you'd never know it today. Every person we met in Vietnam was friendly, curious, gracious, and helpful. And everyone went out of their way to let us know that we were welcome in their country. Although we had traveled the length of Vietnam, realistically, we'd only seen a small slice. And I think it's safe to say that we'll be back someday to see more of what Vietnam has to offer.
So why not come to Vietnam? To make something for Vietnam. To make everything is better. And to connect the relation let's come to Vietnam, and you will see, you will say, okay, it's a fantastic Vietnam.
See you again.
Some folks are born made to wear their flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue. And when the band played "Hail to the Chief," ooh, they point the cannon at you, Lord, Lord. It ain't me, it ain't me. I ain't no senator's son, son. It ain't me, it ain't me. I ain't no fortunate one, no. Some folks are born silver spoon in hand. Lord, don't they help themselves? But when the tax man come to the door, Lord, look like a rummage sale, yeah. It ain't me, it ain't me. I ain't no millionaire's son, son. It ain't me, it ain't me. I ain't no fortunate one, no. Some folks inherit star-spangled eyes. Oh, they send you down to war, Lord. And when you ask them how much should I give, oh, the only answer is more, 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 more. It ain't me, it ain't me. I ain't no military son, son. It ain't me, it ain't me. I ain't no fortunate one.